Captain Dan here, Goober Time Guide Service. In today's video, I want to show you one of the simplest rigs you can use to catch all kinds of fish, in my case, targeting giant catfish on the James River. I've developed a rigging method that keeps my rigs very simple and very low on cost. And if you're going to be targeting big catfish, this is definitely a rig you need in your arsenal. Let's head on over to the workbench and check it out. I like to keep my rigs really simple, so I'm going to have everything that you're going to need here or possibly need down in the description below. So check it out if you want to pick up any of these pieces. For my leader line, I'm going to use 100-pound slime line. This has been really good for me over the past couple of years. If you have a different one, certainly use it, but I highly recommend this. I'm going to use hooks from Mid-Atlantic Catfish Company. These are Bounty Hunter 10-aughts. I like these hooks because they're a good octopus. They have an offset and they have some really heavy duty gauge wires here. So these are some hooks I really trust and the points stay nice on them. You could potentially need some barrel swivels. I'm not going to use them, but I'll show you a way you can use them or not use them, and it's completely up to you. Now, like I said, I'm going to be crimping things instead of tying knots. The only knot I'll use is the no knot snell. So I have these linked down below. These are my crimpers. They've been really good for me. And I also have some size H aluminum sleeves that have worked really well for this 100-pound test. Now, I'm not saying you have to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and leave a comment down below, but my sources tell me that if you don't, you're gonna spend hours rigging up a whole bunch of pre-tied rigs, and as you're flying across the water, they're all gonna blow right out the back of the boat. So if I were you, I wouldn't risk it. I'd go do those 3 things right now, and I'd really appreciate it if you did. It helps the channel out a ton, and we thank you for watching and supporting. Now, for my Carolina rig, I'm gonna start by pulling off about 26 or so inches of this leader line. Now I've got a measuring tape along the side of my bench so I can really check. And I'm gonna use some nail clippers to cut that off right at the spot. Now with my leader line, I'm gonna tie my no knot snell to my circle hook right here. I'm gonna go in the front side, and by the front side, I mean the side that's closest to the point, and lay it down right along the shank, a little past the bend, right down towards the bottom of the straight part there. I'm gonna hold that with my finger and wrap about 6 times. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Finish on the back side of the hook, so that's pointing away from the tip, and come back through the back side all the way out to the front. I know I did that kind of fast, but we do have a dedicated video on this knot exactly, and I'll link it down in the description below. Now, you might find it hard to believe, but snelling that knot took up about 5 inches, and I'm down to about 21 inches right here of leader line left. And here's where you've got to make a decision. Do you want to use a barrel swivel or not? I like to use a barrel swivel, but it's in a different part of my rigging system, so I don't actually use it on my individual rigs. I like to keep these really simple. Either way, you're gonna need one of your aluminum sleeves, and you're gonna start by passing through it once. If you choose to put the barrel swivel on, this is where you'd want to put it on before you pass through again. Leave just a little bit of tag end out the back there, and then shorten this up however you like. I like to leave it just a little bit of slack in there. Personally, I'm not going to use the barrel swivel, so I'm going to undo this and take that out of the system. I'm just going to loop this over and make an empty loop right there with nothing in it. I'm going to crimp once up at the top and once towards the bottom here. Get it snug and then squeeze with 2 hands. And then come back down and finish it off. The nice thing about crimps is you can really dial in the length of your rig here. There's also another really nice added benefit that I'll show you in a future video. And there you have it. That's a really basic Carolina rig. And if you lose it, you're not missing out on a whole lot of pieces here. Just the hook and an aluminum crimp, which costs you barely anything. Now that we have our Carolina rig tied, we just have to worry about attaching it to our main line. So this yellow line is coming off my fishing rod. What I'm gonna do is use a sinker slide right here, put my line through that. I recommend using a bead. This is a silicone bead, really soft and squishy to protect your knot. You can attach your weight to the sinker slide. That way you can change your weights out nice and easy. And also, as your bait's sitting on the bottom, your line can pull through so the fish don't detect the weight when they bite. What I like to do at this point is tie off to a swivel that has a snap so I can quickly change out my rigs, and then I can use the loop in my leader line here to quickly attach that rig to my main line. We'll do a quick improved clinch knot here. We have a whole video on this if you want to see it in more depth. And that right there is what your completed rig looks like. Put a nice piece of bait on there and you're ready to catch some monsters. Now, if you're not quite ready to trust the crimp, I highly recommend checking out our rigging videos about tying knots, which are linked down in the description below. And either way, this video is over, so make sure you go check out our one on the no knot snell. Thanks for watching.